Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Yes, again, as with the beginning of every one of these calls, the reminder that we get to choose. You get to choose, I get to choose, we all get to choose how we're going to think. Remember, it's not you become what you think about most of the time. It's you become how you're thinking most of the time. And how you're thinking is based on what you perceive, which is belief and the interpretations that you give to things. Remember, your reality has nothing to do with the facts. It has nothing to do with what's being said, what's been said, what you've done, what you're doing. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the meanings that you give those facts. And guess who gets to give meaning to all of those facts? It's you. It's always going to be you for your life, the same way that it's always going to be me for my life. And that right there is a beautiful, beautiful truth that, if engaged with, if connected with, if used, will help you to deliver an incredible amount of calmness and courage. It's so interesting how so much of the world is reflecting a lot of being in, not being in control and giving meaning to things on the outside of really bad stuff. In other words, leading to negative feeling. You know what I'm talking about. You see it everywhere. But with that being said, it doesn't have to be that way. Why? Because you always have a choice. Write that in your notes. Again, type it in the comments. You can never, ever write that enough times. I always have a choice. And what is that choice? Yes, the choice of your thoughts to choose how you're going to think. And that's what we talk about here in these wonderful calls. I remind you of these beautiful truths on purpose because, see, it's through the repetition that it gets established within you. And hopefully it's been grabbing onto you in a big, beautiful way. And with that, if it has, I want to say congratulations. Now, the book that we've been studying here in these calls is Master Key System. And if you don't have a copy of this, make sure that you do get a copy of this. Just click on the link that we've provided you to get yours. Now, with that, another reminder is that knowledge is not power. The information that's in here is not power. It's all static energy, passive energy. See, the only way that what's being shared with you, this knowledge that we're diving into, is going to serve you is if you apply it. So you've got to use it practically in your life with whatever you're going through. And if you do that, oh my God, get ready for a wild ride. And I'm certain that many of you who have been here have been experiencing that yourself, right? Nod your heads. Yes. All right. All right. So also in addition to that, make sure you have your goal card with you. Put it with you, right in front of you. But again, remember, it's not about this. It's not about the vision board. It's not about the affirmations. It's about the emotion that's tied to this. It's about how you feel about it. Neville Goddard talks about that feeling is the secret. So as you're here and as you are reading your goal card, question is, are you connected to it? Now, you'll know whether or not you're connected to it. Just look at your results. Neville Goddard talks about that. He says, there are infinite states in front of you, and with every one of those states, all the plots, plans, dramas, and situations are lying there dormant, waiting to be activated. Your job is to fuse with a state. And when you do fuse with that state, all of those plots, plans, dramas, and situations, they activate. And what does he share? He shares that if you've done that, remember, when you do, it becomes your workshop, your home, the lens from which you view the world. But if you do that, he says, be observant. If you are observant, you know what you'll see? You'll see outer reality taking shape upon the model of your imagination. You'll start seeing, oh, this got done, that got done, this person called, you answered the call, you found out about this, you discovered this, ideas come to you. See, that's how you'll know whether or not you're fused with this. Not that it's manifested in your life. You'll start to see the movement in the outer world. See, that's what you got to look at your results as. Write that in your notes. Results are feedback. Results are feedback. Don't make them personal. Same way with feelings, too, by the way. Your feelings are feedback. Look at your feelings as feedback. Look at your results as feedback, as something to help you to gauge whether or not you're on track. If it's negative, oh, you know you've got to make an adjustment. If it's positive, okay, good. You're on the right track. All right, so let's dive into this, my friends. Let's go into where we are in this magnificent book. And we went over this yesterday, but we're going to go over this again. Now, in the book, we're on page 255. And here we're going to go over this piece right here. Difficulties, inharmonies, and obstacles indicate that we are either refusing to give out what we no longer need or refusing to accept what we require. Now let's make this personal for you. Difficulties, inharmonies, and obstacles, if you're going through that, indicate that you are either refusing to give out what give up what you no longer need or refusing to accept what you require. Now, I want you to notice with these two different expressions here that they are two different ways of thinking. Remember, it's not you become what you think about most of the time. That's just the surface. You become how you're thinking most of the time. And how you're thinking is what delivers the outcome, positive or negative. You can think in terms of attitude. Bad attitude, bad results. Good attitude, good results. Great attitude, great results. Notice how there's a movement with all of those examples within, and how also the within leads to the without. If you want to change your outer world, if you want to change the results, you've got to change the cause, and the cause is how you're thinking, and that's what this is referring to. You're either unwilling to let go of what's inside of you. Actually, let me rephrase that. That's not quite correct. Unwilling to. Yeah, you are willing to. It's just that the pattern is really deep in you. Remember, all negativity is subconscious. You would never willingly hold on to something that's not serving you. Isn't that cool? That's a wonderful, beautiful distinction there. And that distinction, by the way, is beautifully shared in this wonderful masterpiece. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. Remember, all negativity is subconscious. You would never willfully let the negativity happen. So with that being said, it's either that there's a pattern of holding on to something that you haven't overridden, or you haven't opened your mind to receive what you need in order to achieve what you would love to achieve. The whole point being, again, though, is that it's rooted from how you're thinking. Now let's go further. Growth. There is a law of growth. Growth is attained through an exchange of the old for the new, of the good for the better. It is a conditional or reciprocal action for each of us is a complete thought entity. Underline that. Actually, let me rephrase that because you're doing this personally. And write instead, I am a complete thought entity. And this completeness makes it possible for us to receive only as we give. Now, the giving that's being spoken of here is rooted in the energy that you are eluding from within. Remember, like attracts like. Like causes lead to like effects. Every effect comes from a cause that was in harmony with the effect. That's the sowing, the reaping. You can look in terms of planting an avocado seed. What are you going to get? You're going to get an avocado plant. What if you plant a mango seed? What are you going to get? You're going to get mangoes. You're not going to get anything else. See, that's the source. You can look at your subconscious mind as fertile soil that will grow just as abundantly negative ideas as it will positive ideas. The point being is that whatever's planted there is what's going to evolve. Write this in your notes again, or write this around this particular section. Seed, plant, blossom, fruit. That's the fourfold order of the universe. And the sooner you tap into thinking that way, remember, it should become how you're thinking most of the time, the sooner you will be able to maneuver through your life and deliver the outcomes that you would love to see in your life. But you're not going to get it working against that law, which is the law of cause and effect. Now, again, let's really grab onto this. You are a thinking center. Write that in your notes. I am a thinking center. And in terms of that thinking center, you're always for expansion, for fuller expression, for growth. What does that reveal about you if you are a complete thought entity, that thinking center? It means you're a creative being. It means that you're powerful. It means that you have immense potential. Now let's just sit in that for just a moment. That's who you are. And again, to dive deeper into that, if you really want to go really deep into it with simplicity, get this beautiful gem because it'll help you to see it. All right, so from here, I'm going to actually make a mention here because we're streaming this live throughout some other platforms. And those of you who have watched this so far and you like what you're hearing and want to dive more deeper into this, then register